Hello, everybody. Today is day 25 of my 30-day video challenge. And today I want to talk about improv. I have been taking improv classes for the last 2 weeks. I just started last week, and today was my second class. And we did a whole bunch of exercises in that class. And that got me thinking that maybe today I should do an improv video recording without really knowing what I'm going to talk about. So today it's an impromptu conversation, an impromptu speaking on my part. So first of all, maybe I can talk about what we did in the improv class. One interesting thing in improv class I find is that they talk a lot about how you gotta have trust with your audience, and especially if we are learning, then having trust with other people in the class so we can share freely and not feel judged. So for that trust building, we did this exercise where we group people into pairs. So there are many pairs of people, and each pair, what it does is that there are a whole lot of chairs scattered through the room in random places, and then one person in the pair closes their eye and acts as blind, and the other person leads them through to the other end of the room, just giving vocal cues about go forward, go left, go right, turn left, step to the left, but not doing any physical contact, just through vocal vocal commands. That was an interesting game. It was not super difficult for me, but it was definitely uh, fun, and it was definitely made me appreciate that other people have my back to a certain extent. Maybe how much trust these kind of exercises develop is maybe a little bit overrated, but it was definitely a fun exercise to 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 build that level of trust in my class participants. The another game we played today was is called What Are You Doing? Then the whole name of the game is What Are You Doing? In this also there are two participants, so there are, let's say, person A and person B, right? Now person A starts by acting out something that they are doing. For example, they might be acting, oh, like this. So that means they probably are swimming. Then the person B, the second person, asks, hey, what are you doing? And the response to that, what are you doing, the person who was doing this can say anything, like what they're doing, anything but they are actually doing. So they can't say swimming, for example. They can say anything else. They can say running. Now, then once the participant A says running, then the other participant has to act out running. So either way, whatever way they want. And then the other participant asks, hey, what are you doing? And the person who is running has to say anything but running. They could say, oh, I'm cooking eggs. Then the other participant starts cooking eggs, acting out as they're cooking eggs. Again, the ball goes to the other participant who asks, what are you doing? The person cooking egg can say anything but cooking an egg. They can say, oh, I'm making pizza. So the idea is to dissociate from what you are actually doing and what you are saying what you're doing. And that's a super fun game, very challenging to come up with different activities. Is actually quite difficult on the spot. You can make it more difficult by, let's say, the first, when your partner asks you what are you doing, the first word, the first letter of the first word that comes out of your mouth has to start with a letter N, or has to start with a letter S, or has to start with a letter P or something. So that's a little bit more difficult. You can also have a more restriction that anything that they are doing or they say other person has to do has to be related to driving, or has to be related to carpentry, or has to be related to some profession or some activity. So that's another variant. And actually, I didn't experience that myself, but my instructor told that just by giving this restriction of everything has to be related to carpentry starting with N, that actually gets the creative juice in people's mind flowing, and that people come up with a lot more interesting things as a result. Anyway, that was the second game. Really, really fun. The third game that we played was not really a game, but it is something I am most afraid of in improv. And that is start speaking in front of audience impromptu. And that's by definition what impromptu classes are. So the exercise was the instructor kept a timer for a minute. You go up the stage. He asked, okay, whoever has not spoken yet, go to the stage, start speaking and speak for a minute about anything, everything that you want to talk about. Nothing is off bounds. People talked about the varieties of apples that they know about, and some people talked about their cats, and some people talked about their day. I had no idea what I'm going to talk about, so I talked about today I went a short hiking, and I was hiking with some friends and their kid. We saw a snake. It was a little freaking experience, and how we ended up taking like a video of it. It was really small snake, maybe not even 2 feet long, maybe a foot and a half long. We took a very thin snake. We took a video, not from very up close, but a little bit far away, and that was interesting. I also talked about how this experience of speaking for some time impromptu is the most difficult part for me. So I talked about that. I talked about things like that. That was fun. I also noticed I was speaking very fast in that 1 minute, and somebody mentioned when it was their turn that they want to speak slow, so they have to come up with the least number of words that they need to come up with for a minute. That was a pretty smart idea. It also gives them time to think. It also gives them more thinking space. It gives them more time to compose themselves. And it's also generally a good idea to enunciate your words, which, as you can see in this video, I was not doing very well. So that was one lesson from today. This was my second class, as I mentioned, in improv. There were other classes. So in my first class, we did a whole bunch of games, which maybe I will make another video to talk about what we did. But today was a lot of fun. Actually, in the beginning, I want to talk about one more thing. The first game that we talk about is which we play is this game where everybody goes around in circle and you say your name, and in front of that you put an adjective starting with the same letter as your name, as your first name. So for example, somebody with name Max could say Marvelous Max, and they have to act it out. For example, Marvelous Max, or something along those lines. I had for my yogi I had young, and I reached a little bit late for the class, and they put me on a spot. Oh, tell me your adjective and name. And I was like, oh, young yogi. And that became my action, young yogi. Or the second round, I had this adjective, yo-yo yogi, which I don't know what I was talking about, but I couldn't think of an adjective. And people go along in terms of, nobody say, oh, yo-yo is not an adjective. But yo-yo in the sense like the juggling yo-yo, it kind of rotates like that. I like juggling art, so it was yo-yo yogi. That was interesting game. And then you call out somebody, for example, Marvelous Max. I call out Marvelous Max, and then they repeat Marvelous Max and give it the ball to somebody else, and that helps us remember each other's name. So today I checked. I actually remembered, I think, everybody but one person's name by the end of the class. That was pretty interesting because I am not good at remembering names. That was fun. Anyway, that is all I have for today. And one of these days I will record maybe another, a few more games, improv games one can play. But for today, that is it. Thank you for watching, and you have a great day. I will see you later. Thank you.